Welcome to this video on CISA's recent guidance on product security bad practices. In today's cybersecurity landscape, ensuring that software is secure from the very start of development is absolutely critical, especially for those building products that support our nation's critical infrastructure. This video will explore key bad practices that software manufacturers should avoid and how they can protect their customers and critical systems by following the Secure by Design initiative. CISA's guidance, developed in collaboration with the FBI, is aimed at software manufacturers who produce products used in critical infrastructures, such as energy, healthcare, and telecommunications. The guidance emphasizes that security should be prioritized from the very start of software development. While this guidance is voluntary, it provides essential recommendations to help manufacturers improve security outcomes for their customers. Key to CISA's Secure by Design initiative. The bad practices highlighted in this guidance fall into three primary categories. First, we have product properties, which refer to the observable qualities of software that directly impact its security. Next are security features. These are the functionalities that ensure a product remains secure, such as authentication and encryption. Finally, there are organizational processes and policies, which focus on how transparent and secure a manufacturer's approach to security is. Why is avoiding these bad practices so important? Critical infrastructure systems are prime targets for cyber attacks. Whether it's energy grids or transportation networks, any security lapse could lead to devastating consequences. By avoiding these bad practices, software manufacturers can significantly reduce the risk of their products being exploited and signal to their customers that they take security seriously. In today's rapidly evolving threat landscape, there's simply no room for compromise. CISA's Secure by Design approach emphasizes that security shouldn't be treated as an afterthought or simply an add-on feature. It must be integrated into the very foundation of the product from the beginning. By doing this, software manufacturers demonstrate they are truly taking responsibility for their customers' security outcomes. Following this guidance ensures that bad practices are avoided, leading to a more robust security posture for both the manufacturers and users of the software. By building security into the development process, manufacturers also play a critical role in protecting vital infrastructures like energy, transportation, and healthcare systems. Avoiding these bad practices signals a strong commitment to security and ensures that software designed for critical infrastructure remains resilient. Adopting Secure by Design principles leads to better security outcomes, fostering trust between manufacturers and their customers. In today's threat landscape, it all begins with secure software. Now, let's dive deeper into these bad practices, what makes them so risky, and how software manufacturers can address them. The first bad practice under product properties deals with the development of software in memory-unsafe languages like C or C++. These languages are widely known to be prone to memory safety vulnerabilities, such as buffer overflows, which can lead to serious security risks. For software supporting critical infrastructure or national critical functions, using memory-unsafe languages significantly increases the risk to national security, economic stability, and public health and safety. CISA recommends that software manufacturers opt for memory-safe alternatives wherever feasible when developing new product lines. For existing products already written in memory-unsafe languages, it's crucial to have a memory safety roadmap published by January 1, 2026. This roadmap should prioritize addressing vulnerabilities in critical components, such as network-facing code or sensitive functionalities like cryptographic operations. A memory safety roadmap demonstrates that manufacturers are taking serious, proactive steps to reduce vulnerabilities over time. It ensures a clear, prioritized approach to eliminate memory safety risks in the most critical parts of the codebase, ultimately improving the security posture of the product. This roadmap requirement does not apply to products with a publicly announced end-of-support date before January 1, 2030. However, for all other products, the roadmap is essential for accountability and transparency. The recommended action is clear. Manufacturers should either switch to memory-safe languages or adopt hardware protections that prevent memory safety vulnerabilities. Additionally, they must publish their memory safety roadmap by 2026 to show they are actively working to mitigate these risks. By doing so, they can significantly lower the risk of exploitation and help protect national critical infrastructure. The second bad practice under product properties involves the inclusion of user-provided input directly in SQL query strings, commonly leading to SQL injection vulnerabilities, CWE 89. This practice is especially dangerous when used in software that supports critical infrastructure or national critical functions. SQL injection allows attackers to manipulate the database by injecting malicious code into query strings, potentially leading to unauthorized access, data breaches, and system compromise. When SQL injection vulnerabilities exist, they pose serious risks not only to the integrity of a system, but also to national security, economic stability, and public safety, especially in industries like energy, finance, and healthcare. The recommended action is clear. Software manufacturers should build their products in a way that systematically prevents the introduction of these vulnerabilities. This can be done by consistently enforcing the use of parameterized queries, which ensure that user input is treated as data and not executable code. By using parameterized queries, software manufacturers can significantly reduce the likelihood of SQL injection attacks and safeguard the critical systems that their products support. Incorporating these safeguards demonstrates a commitment to securing customer data and protecting vital infrastructure from malicious threats. The third bad practice under product properties is the inclusion of user-provided input directly in operating system command strings, which can lead to command injection vulnerabilities, CWE 78. This practice is extremely dangerous, especially for software that supports critical infrastructure and national critical functions. Command injection vulnerabilities allow attackers to execute arbitrary commands on the operating system, potentially leading to unauthorized system control, data breaches, and severe disruptions. These risks are elevated in sectors vital to national security, economic stability, and public health, where compromised systems can have widespread impacts. Therefore, it's crucial that manufacturers design products to systematically prevent command injection vulnerabilities. The recommended action is clear. Manufacturers should ensure that user inputs are clearly delineated from the command contents themselves. By consistently enforcing this separation, the risk of command injection can be drastically reduced, helping to safeguard critical systems and protect against malicious attacks. The fourth bad practice involves the presence of default passwords in products used for critical infrastructure and national critical functions, which corresponds to the weaknesses defined as CWT92 and CWE 1393. Default passwords are universally shared passwords that can be easily exploited, significantly increasing the risk to national security, economic stability, and public health. When default passwords are not removed or changed, attackers can gain unauthorized access to systems, leading to potential data breaches and operational disruptions. To mitigate these risks, software manufacturers should ensure that default passwords are not present in their products. Here are some recommended actions. First, provide random instance-unique initial passwords for each installation. Second, require users to create strong passwords at the start of the installation process. Third, implement time-limited setup passwords that disable themselves once the setup is complete, ensuring that users must configure a secure password or use more secure authentication methods, like phishing-resistant multi-factor authentication, MFA. Additionally, manufacturers should require physical access for initial setup, ensuring that only authorized personnel can configure instance-unique credentials. Finally, they should conduct campaigns or offer updates to transition existing deployments from default passwords to more secure authentication mechanisms. By following these practices, manufacturers can significantly enhance the security posture of their products and protect critical systems from unauthorized access. The fifth bad practice concerns the presence of known exploited vulnerabilities in products used for critical infrastructure and national critical functions. Releasing a product that contains components with vulnerabilities listed in CISA's Known Exploited Vulnerabilities (KEV) catalog is extremely dangerous. It significantly increases the risks to national security, economic stability, and public health. Moreover, if a new known exploited vulnerabilities is published after a product's release, failing to issue a patch at no cost in a timely manner, within 30 days, if the vulnerability is exploitable, or not documenting the presence of the vulnerability if it's not exploitable, poses similar risks. This neglect can leave critical systems vulnerable to attacks that could have been easily mitigated. To address these risks, software manufacturers should take the following actions. Patch all known exploited vulnerabilities in software components before releasing the product. This proactive approach ensures that vulnerabilities do not make it into the production environment. In the event a new TV is published, manufacturers must issue a patch within 30 days at no cost to users. It's crucial to communicate the associated risks of not installing the patch, ensuring users understand the importance of timely updates. If a manufacturer determines that a KV is not exploitable within their product, perhaps due to a function that is never invoked, they should publicly document this information. A clear explanation of why the vulnerability does not affect their product helps build trust and transparency with users. By adhering to these recommendations, manufacturers can significantly enhance the security of their products and contribute to the overall safety of critical infrastructure. The sixth bad practice addresses the presence of open-source software with known exploitable vulnerabilities in products used for critical infrastructure and national critical functions. Releasing a product that incorporates open-source components with known vulnerabilities significantly elevates risks to national security, economic stability, and public health. When vulnerabilities are disclosed after the product release, the failure to issue timely patches or other mitigations at no cost to users can exacerbate these risks. Critical vulnerabilities, defined as those with a common vulnerability scoring system, CVSS score of 9.0 or greater, can leave systems exposed to serious threats. To mitigate these risks, software manufacturers should adopt a responsible approach to using and contributing to open-source software. Here are the recommended actions. Maintain a software bill of materials, SBOM, that lists all first- and third-party software dependencies, including both open-source and proprietary components. This transparency is essential for customers to understand the software's security posture. Run security scanning tools on each open-source component, along with its dependencies and transitive dependencies, to identify vulnerabilities. This should be done during selection and for each subsequent version update. Select well-maintained open-source projects and contribute to their maintenance when appropriate. This ensures the projects meet security standards and continue to receive necessary updates. Monitor for common vulnerabilities and exposures, CVEs, and other security alerts regarding open-source dependencies. Regular updates should be made as needed to address vulnerabilities or lifecycle concerns. Cache copies of all open-source dependencies within your own build systems. This practice prevents direct updates from unverified public sources, which can introduce security risks. Include the cost of updating to new major versions of third-party open-source software dependencies in business planning. This ensures that dependencies remain secure and receive necessary updates throughout the expected product lifecycle. By implementing these recommendations, manufacturers can greatly enhance the security of their products and help protect critical infrastructure against the risks associated with open-source vulnerabilities. The first bad practice under security features is the lack of multi-factor authentication, MFA, in products used to support critical infrastructure and national critical functions. Furthermore, products that fail to enable MFA by default for administrator accounts after January 1, 2026, will also significantly elevate these risks. It's important to note that this requirement does not apply to products with an announced end-of-support date prior to January 1, 2028. To address this critical vulnerability, software manufacturers should take proactive measures. The recommended action is to ensure that MFA is either supported natively in the product or facilitated through the use of an external identity provider, such as implementing single sign-on solutions. Additionally, manufacturers should require MFA for all administrator accounts by default. By adopting these measures, manufacturers can significantly enhance the security of their products, thereby protecting sensitive systems and data against unauthorized access and potential cyber threats. Next, we address the lack of capability to gather evidence of intrusions, which is a critical concern for products supporting critical infrastructure and national critical functions. When these products do not provide customers with the necessary artifacts and capabilities to gather evidence of common forms of intrusions, it poses a serious threat to national security, economic stability, and public health. At a minimum, the baseline version of these products should enable logging of crucial activities, including configuration changes or settings, identity-related events such as sign-ins and token creations, and data access or the creation of business-relevant data. The absence of these logging capabilities can significantly hinder an organization's ability to investigate security incidents effectively. To mitigate this risk, software manufacturers must include robust logging functionalities as part of their products. The recommended action is to make logs available in an industry-standard format, covering the aforementioned areas. Additionally, for cloud service providers and SaaS products, it's essential to retain these logs for a minimum timeframe of 6 months at no additional charge. By implementing these logging practices, manufacturers can empower their customers to gather the necessary evidence to respond to and investigate intrusions, ultimately enhancing the overall security posture of their products and the systems they protect. Moving on to the first concern under the category of organizational processes and policies, we highlight the issue of failing to publish timely CVEs with CWEs. For products that serve critical infrastructure and national critical functions, the inability of software manufacturers to issue common vulnerabilities and exposures, CVEs, promptly for all critical or high-impact vulnerabilities is not just a missed opportunity for transparency. It significantly elevates risks to national security, economic security, and public health. Timely publication of CVEs is essential for organizations to understand the vulnerabilities they may face and to take appropriate actions to mitigate those risks. Additionally, each CVE record must include the Common Weakness Enumeration (CWE) field, which provides valuable context regarding the nature of the vulnerability. Omitting this information can lead to confusion and ineffective remediation strategies. To address this critical issue, software manufacturers should prioritize the publication of complete CVEs in a timely manner for all critical or high-impact vulnerabilities. This includes ensuring that the appropriate CWE field is included in every CVE record. By adhering to these practices, manufacturers not only enhance the overall security posture of their products, but also foster trust and collaboration within the cybersecurity community, ultimately contributing to a safer digital environment for all stakeholders. Now let's address another important aspect within the category of organizational processes and policies: the failure to publish a vulnerability disclosure policy, or VDP. For products used in critical infrastructure and national critical functions, the absence of a clearly defined VDP poses a serious risk. This lack of transparency can significantly elevate the dangers to national security, economic stability, and public health. A well-structured VDP is essential for fostering collaboration between software manufacturers and the security community. It allows external researchers and ethical hackers to identify vulnerabilities in the products, thereby helping to strengthen overall security. A VDP should explicitly authorize testing by members of the public on the manufacturer's products. Furthermore, it should clearly commit to not pursuing legal action against individuals who engage in good faith efforts to follow the guidelines outlined in the VDP. Additionally, the policy must provide a clear and accessible channel for reporting vulnerabilities. It should also allow for public disclosure of vulnerabilities, consistent with coordinated vulnerability disclosure best practices and international standards. This approach not only promotes accountability, but also enhances the credibility of the software manufacturer in the eyes of its users. To further mitigate risks, software manufacturers should ensure that they remediate all valid reported vulnerabilities in a timely and risk-prioritized manner. By establishing and adhering to a robust VDP, manufacturers can greatly improve their security posture and help protect critical infrastructure from potential threats. Thank you for joining us today as we explored these essential software security practices. As we've seen, securing products for critical infrastructure and national critical functions isn't just about technical fixes. It requires a robust commitment to security standards, thorough testing, and responsible disclosure. Each of these practices, from ensuring secure coding against vulnerabilities to publishing a comprehensive vulnerability disclosure policy, is crucial in safeguarding our national security, economic stability, and public health. Software manufacturers play a pivotal role in this, and by implementing these recommendations, they contribute to a safer, more resilient digital landscape for everyone. Whether you're a developer, security professional, or decision maker, we all have a part to play in reinforcing security across the products and services that underpin our society. Let's work together toward a future where our critical infrastructure is protected by secure, resilient technology. Thank you for watching, and if you found this information valuable, consider sharing it to spread awareness of these critical security practices. Stay secure, stay informed, and let's continue building a safer digital world.